So it begins.
Oh, hey. Yep.
Hello.
Yep. Yeah, continuing the Castlevania marathon. Wait, I need that Discord stream. There you go. Yeah, I should probably just like go into it, because like previous streams got like copyright claims for the menu music for some reason. Not that it matters too much, because I'm not monetizing these and they're unlisted anyways, but so yeah, now that done all the console ones, that now it's time for the handheld games. Uh,
I know you. Wait, no, never mind.
uh Starting with Castlevania the Adventure on Game Boy. This one is generally considered to be one of, if not the worst Castlevania game.
I think
Obviously.
the
Go
just it amuses me that it's called Konami Industry
on.
on the uh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like obviously Simon's Quest and is like, in competition for what's considered the worst one, but it's this or that essentially. Um so yeah, it's going to be fun.
I did watch a playthrough of it on YouTube.
I have years ago when like Simon was announced for Smash, Derek, who was at Game Explain at the time, streamed playing through all the Castlevania games, and I watched him play this game, so I know what to expect in a lot of places here, and I also know that I don't that the game kind of looks like ass, so we'll see
What's
how
that?
it
It's a Game
goes.
Boy game?
Good Game Boy games.
Well, okay, but this also came out in 1989.
Yeah. Frankly, personally, I prefer Castlevania Adventure 2 Battle, and it had better Medusa Garden. Goddamn. Fucking Medusa or the chat.
I see what you did there.
Alright. I am playing with, like, just the controls.
I will say though, it doesn't look terrible. At least this part.
Yeah.
Though I also think
Move so slow in this game. Hey, Kamen Rider. So, this game, handles the whip a little differently. You can still upgrade it. However, instead of the typical where it turns into a chain whip and then the last upgrade makes it longer, this one, there's no length increase. Well, the length increase is gotten at the same time as the chain whip, but the final upgrade gives you a fireball. Which, might sound pretty good, except for one huge problem. If you take any damage, your whip downgrades. So, I don't expect to have the flame whip for much of the game, or even the chain whip. And, another thing that makes, that kind of a problem, there are no sub-weapons in this game. You only have your whip. Ugh. On the right side, the music is pretty good. Yeah, I already lost my upgrades. I haven't heard of that Kamen Rider, and yes, the walk speed is really slow, and I doesn't help that with more sprites the slower the game gets, so... Yeah, it's not that cool. Also, you can't whip while on a rope. Also, you know, if you know Castlevania, you know hearts are used for sub-weapons and such shit, but because there are no sub-weapons in this game, hearts are actually health this time. Oh yeah. There are like, I think there's like one secret in each level. I don't know where all of them are, but I remember there was one at the top of a rope in this level, so... Alright, one up. Yeah, one thing you can't fault this game for is its soundtrack. Yeah, they did remake this game on Wii, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. I will be playing that. It's the last game of this marathon I'm doing. You know, one thing I find really bafflingly about The Adventure Rebirth is it doesn't remix any music from this game. Like, the first level music is the one from Bloodlines, which, I mean, it's a good rendition, but it's kind of confusing that they did that. There actually is a remix of this track right here, Battle of the Holy, made for that, but it's not implemented in the game. God damn it. Why are birds always the worst enemies? Okay, that was some nice button delay. So, the story of this one isn't really different from your typical one, but this time you're playing as Christopher Belmont. I believe he is the first Belmont after Trevor to fight Dracula. God damn it. After him is Simon, I believe. I wouldn't hold out hope for Konami making more platformers.
Yeah, they'll just make more pachinko.
And, you know, get, what was it, Bloober Team to make the Silent Hill remake. So it seems like all they're really been doing is remakes.
Only what? You expect them to come... Bleh. You expect them to come up with original content? Bah.
Well, expect, no, but... Alright, I believe this is the boss. Weird, like, you have to pick up an orb to summon the boss, which looks the same as the whip upgrade, but it doesn't upgrade your whip. Why you're so slow? I know you... Don't give me excuse it's a Game Boy game, so you have to move slow. Fucking Donkey Kong Land games. Oh boy. Ah. at the very least, I believe this game does have unlimited continues. So, don't have to worry about going back to the beginning, although I'm unsure about the Dracula fight, if the game over there, if you have to go back and start the level again, or if it's, you know, like the good ones where they put you right before them. Depending on how that is, I won't make any promises on not using a save state. You know, because you move so slow in this game, your jump arc is a lot shorter, which makes platforming, you know, a bit tougher.
You just need to practice.
Yeah, buddy. Also, this game only has 4 levels. So, hopefully this won't be a long stream, but, considering it's this game, who knows how many... Who knows? Alright, take 2 on the boss. It takes you so long to get back to the boss as you move so fucking slow. At least
I'd say you're winning this round.
Especially if he walks away from me like that. This is an early Game Boy game. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it said 89.
Yeah. I forget. Was this a launch game or not? I forget. You know, it'd be really nice if I had the axe and I could, you know, attack those bats above me, but nope. You know, this game really makes me question what the fuck happened to Harmony of Dissonance's soundtrack. It's like, you know, this game's music kind of slaps. What's that game's excuse?
Don't you know the Game Boy is more powerful than the Advance?
No. I know those enemies, appear quite often in the game.
What, you don't like waffles?
I want to know who thought this walking speed was fun.
Oh, hey, it's a Klansman.
Ow. Yeah, this game's not exactly giving me a good first impression. At least it's somewhat generous with health right there. I remember watching Hurricane play a bit of this. I don't think he got past this room. Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact, this game was programmed by the founder of Treasure Games. Oh, really? Guess not one of his best works. fire whip. Let's see how long I can keep it. You know, I think I'd be able to accept, you know, the fire whip being like, you know, you get hit and you lose it, but the fact that the chain whip also works that way is just not fun. This game can't even handle the scrolling as I'm sure the people who program were equally as frustrated making it like this while being rushed by Konami to make the case for the holidays. I mean, yeah, probably with some rushing involved. Yeah, Mario Land is pretty clunky, although Game Boy can do better. Like, maybe, you know, early on it was difficult, but like Donkey Kong Land 2 and 3 are really good, and they feel great, like almost on par with the Super Nintendo ones. And also, like, the next game, Belmont's Revenge, is often, like, I've heard people rather like that game.
Which game?
The second Game Boy game. God damn it. I'm assuming you have no experience with this one, Brady?
How could you tell? Yeah, I think genuinely the only Castlevania games I've played are 4, Rondo, Symphony, Aria Dawn, Portrait, Order, and I don't even think I've tried any of the NES games. I think that's it.
And I have not played any of them.
Not played Bloodlines, not played 3, not played 2, not played Chronicles. Haven't played any of the Game Boy games. Haven't played Harmony or... Oh fuck, what was the other one? Circle of the Moon. Yeah, no, I'm very limited in my Castlevania experience, but honestly, I'm not necessarily complaining because I think out of the games I've played, I've gotten what I've wanted.
Well, I mean, you played Rondo, so you're not really gonna get a better classic Maniac game.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why I kind of played Rondo. It was actually the first Castlevania game I sought out. Actually, no. I think Dawn might have been my first Castlevania game. And I think that's because I was into legally acquiring copies of Castlevania games to load onto a single collected library for my DS. And Dawn just happened to be one that was put on there by my dad way back when, because I think he downloaded just like a 100 best DS ROMs thing. I mean, dumped. Yes. And it was on there, so that was the first one I played, and then I sought out the other ones. I think I got out halfway through Portrait and then just kind of stopped playing it. Order of Ecclesia, I got stuck on the second boss for some reason.
Wait, was it the crab?
I don't remember. It's been so long. It was very, very early though.
Wait,
something about the way the
second. Never mind. But
the game's mechanics were just very awkward and poorly explained to me, and I had no idea what was going on. It might have been because I wasn't reading like any of the descriptions or explanations, or it could have just been poorly explained. But
because that's not you or anything.
It's one of the two. But yeah, no, it's been a long time since then. And then back years and years ago, I found Johnny's retrospective of the Castlevania games, and I think he talked up Rondo quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
And so eventually I got Dracula X Chronicles for a Christmas, which I played through about half of, and then stopped playing because my PlayStation Portable has a weird fucked screen issue that I couldn't solve without buying a new screen. And so I just stopped playing it, and then until this year I hadn't tried to go back. Actually, no, I think maybe about a year ago I downloaded PPSSPP and played about half of the game on that.
Why are you fighting frogs?
It's Castlevania. It's like what you do.
frogs and known enemies of the Belmonts. Yeah, it's awkward.
I mean, you saw Friday really sucking ass against the frogs in Rondo.
To be fair, the frogs in Bloodstained are way fucking worse.
God, I wish it just had some weapons.
It didn't even hit you.
Yeah, that hitbox. What the fuck?
Oh, hey, it's another KKK member.
These guys kind of remind me of the crook enemies in EKC2. The ones that throw their hooks. Ugh. This is also weird. I go up here, then I go down, and now I'm in the boss room.
So, you know, fuck it.
That'd be nice if, the whip actually fucking worked when I push the button.
These are really sloths. We're sloths.
Interesting.
At least that's what I'm gonna say, because it looks like one of the bosses from House of the Dead 3.
Interesting.
Alright, there we go. 2 levels down.
2 to go. Look on the bright side, Red. You're halfway done.
Well. Somehow I doubt these next 2 stages will be so, easy.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, destroy that. Stop the being crushed. And, like, you just can't go for those candles, because, like, oh. Okay. I remember Derek took quite a while on this level.
Derek?
Derek Bittner used to be on Game Explain.
Now I think he's on Good Vibe Gaming.
Yeah.
Oh.
He, back when Simon was, like, announced for Smash, he streamed through all the Castlevania games, and I watched him play this.
Ah.
So, you know, my experience with this game is watching that stream. And, the game looked like a pain in the ass from that stream. Okay, I can't climb enough for him not to hit me. Oh boy. What the fuck? We start with 2 lives in this game instead of, you know, the usual 3. At least I think 3 is the usual. I guess it varies. I know Rondo gave you 3. But then Dracula X gave you 2.
So do those poles, like, pull the ceiling downwards?
I guess. They're also pulling the floor up. Why you guys even put those candles there? Like, going after the candles, you're just gonna die.
That's kind of like the same in, oh fuck, when I was playing, Bloodstained, in that one section where you have to escape the bats by going up the tower, there's a bunch of, candles there that they're all a fucking trap. If you even go for like a single one, it becomes infinitely harder.
Yeah, you weren't here when I explained it, but the whip upgrading is a little different in this game, where the first upgrade, you know, that gets it into the chain whip also increases its length. The final upgrade adds a fireball, like as a projectile. But if you take any damage, your whip will downgrade. Even to, you know, the normal whip. Which, is kind of a pain in the ass. And also, this game has no sub-weapons.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, you just got your whip, that's it.
Huh.
Also, stairs were replaced with ropes.
Interesting.
And as you can no doubt tell, you move so fucking slow in this game. Asshole. Oh, that's a dick move. Okay, then. I believe the sequel, you actually can use your whip while on a rope, which, you know, is nice, but you can't do it here.
The future.
Random question: do you guys use Discord compact mode or like the default one?
Default, I think.
Okay, it's like with the profile pictures on the left side with your text and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me less than half an hour to get past the first 2 levels. We'll see how long it takes to get past this level.
I will say the YouTube feature of having top chat being the default instead of live chat. Oh, brilliant feature. Love it so much. Definitely not annoying.
I'm glad you appreciate the work that they've been doing. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to make something that nobody likes.
I don't know, Twitter makes it look easy. I still find it really funny how everyone right now is melting down over Twitter, despite the fact that it's always been shit. It's never been good.
Yeah, and like I was content just watching it burn, but now it's like it sounds like people who aren't verified may not really show up on your feed, and if that's the case, that fucking sucks.
I don't know, the home feed's always been ass though, like
I never
generally
use
unless
feed,
you
I use the
latest tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But unless they're changing latest tweets to like deprioritize stuff, should be fine.
I mean, as long as it doesn't affect latest tweets, then whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not my problem, it's not a problem.
I mean, like, you're right. Twitter always sucked, so... Eh?
Yeah. It is funny seeing people try and go over to Mastodon and not understanding how it works fucking at all, and being like, yo, wait, what's this server shit? And then everyone's just kind of going, oh, and then no one keeping going.
I'm so glad I never even started using it.
Yeah, Twitter's like the League of Legends of social media.
And you'd know.
Yeah, I've had a bad relationship with both. Mind you, I've managed to kick League of Legends.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of how long it's been. It's been a few weeks. I did have a brief relapse. Gotta be honest.
So rehab been working out for you?
Literally, it was peer pressure. Like, I'm not even joking. I had some friends that wanted to play League, and it was when the new Udia rework came out. So I was like, nah, what can it hurt? It didn't keep me going though. I stopped playing very quickly. I had a brief stint where I was playing a little bit of ranked because I like the idea of playing a game with a ranked competitive mode, but I don't think I like that very much. And if I was gonna play a game like that, I'd probably just go back to playing Splatoon because I got Splatoon 3 a while ago and I quite enjoyed the ranked in that. Because it's quite it's quite casual, but not in like a no stakes way. It's more just like it's kind of low stakes because ranked has exclusive game modes to it. So if people want to play things on just Turf War, they end up playing the ranked mode. Which, you know what, I quite like.
So you're still gonna watch Arcane?
I've already seen Arcane.
Next season.
Oh yeah. Arcane was amazing.
Yes, it is.
I do love the meme about like the worst thing that Arcane ever did was make people think that League of Legends was good.
It's okay.
No, genuinely,
It didn't work on me.
Arcane is like... I'm trying to think of way of describing it. It's some very, very good character stuff, but I think the best and most interesting thing about it is it's probably got like the best and most interesting social and political commentary out of any like contemporary TV show I've watched. Like it's got a very, very good understanding of a lot of very particular dynamics within politics, as well as the way that they kind of interact with more kind of interpersonal elements. It's very graceful is the best way of putting it. I honestly wouldn't mind rewatching it at some point.
Should I add it to the list?
I do think Jinx had some problems with her writing, and I found Vi to be a bit unlikable. But other than that, I really loved it. Honestly, Vi just felt a bit flat. She wasn't entirely one note, but she did feel a little, as I said, just a little stock. Like she probably could have had more going on. Also, not to get too into the weeds about it, but there was some stuff that I found disagreeable in terms of the way that certain characters were represented. But yeah.
If you have that many problems, why don't you make your own?
Because everything else was really good. Also, I'm shit at basically everything I would need to do regarding that.
Well, maybe that's what we should do. Get Harain to animate a cartoon.
Jesus fucking Christ. Dawn of a New Day's next project is just gonna be a full-on fucking, like, fan-remade animated series of Arcane.
What the fuck?
With a full rewrite. Actually, Red, with your game development stuff coming along, how about instead of making that video for the Paper Mario rewrite, you just make a new Paper Mario game?
You know, I got other stuff. Got high priority.
So we'll put you down for maybe.
I'm just saying.
Look, man, making a whole ass RPG.
Well, you're doing it for you're doing it for Sticker Store?
Well, yeah, again, that's, you know, a concept rather than actually doing it.
No, I realized. I was trying to remember which game, because you did one for Super, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you'd done one for Super or you were doing one for Super.
Yeah, already did it.
Well, in which case, you could just turn that into a game. You don't even need to do the concept phase. You've got all that planned out.
Ah, yes. Definitely everything just, you know, right, just follow the video and it's done.
I don't know, that's how game development works, right?
You just gotta wish it.
Yeah, click your heels together.
Pray to your god.
Also, this level kind of sucks ass.
Well, I will say, because I'm sick of it, so I'm finally doing something about it. I'm playing the Orange Box, Half-Life 1 or 2.
I was about to say, I don't think that exists.
What do you mean, sick of it?
Because I'm playing it on Xbox, and Xbox uses points for its achievements.
Oh, gamer points?
Yeah,
Show how
gamer
much of a
score.
gamer you are?
Yeah. But so, Half-Life 2 is one of those obnoxious games that uses that gives you some achievements that are odd numbered.
Oh.
So there's an achievement worth 13 points that I'm trying to get now.
Achievements are really weird because simultaneously they are interesting and kind of fun, but also I do kind of hate them because they've made people reconsider what completion regarding a game means, and a lot of that now means that completion requires a bunch of like menial busy work of redoing things with basically no incentive or reward other than a little pop-up after you finish it to say you've done everything. Which sucks.
Well, I mean, but I think it also helps in a way. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I do think, I guarantee you I would not be playing a lot of games on the hardest difficulty if there wasn't some stimulation of sorts from getting achievements.
A simulation? What the hell do you mean?
Stimulation.
Oh, stimulation. I don't know, I play games on the hardest difficulty because I'm not a pussy.
Well, damn.
I mean, if I enjoy a game enough, I'll, might try to play it on harder.
Also, I am an epic hardcore gamer, so, I gotta get the gamer cred for beating it on the hardest difficulty. Unless it's like one of those bullshit one-shot difficulties, like the quote-unquote realistic type of difficulties, because those are usually just like really sucky and unfun.
Yeah. Also not too fun of a certain games where the only thing they change is just some numbers, like I really like Star Wars Republic Commando, but all its hard difficulty does is just make it that you take a little more damage.
You see, I don't actually mind those kinds of difficulties if they're done well. And by what I mean by that is like, so for example, recently I've been playing through Turbo Overkill, and the way the difficulty with that game works is that projectile speed and enemy damage is increased. Which means that basically the only thing that the high difficulties do mean you have to be more and more mobile, and you have to master the movement things more and more.
Well, with that one, the projectile speed increase, which means that actually has an effect on the way you play, as opposed to just you take more damage and nothing else.
Well, true, but that is just a numbers tweak, right?
Yeah, yeah. I guess, for me, damage numbers, I should be more specific.
Yeah, and it does increase damage as well, right? Like, I think if it just increased projectile speed, that wouldn't make it interesting.
Well, yeah, I'm not
you need
opposed
the
to
damage
increasing
to go along with it.
Like, damage, but as long as it's not the only thing.
Yeah, definitely. I do sometimes think the lowering the margin for error works, but I think my least favorite kind of difficulty mode is when it makes the enemies all bullet sponges.
Yeah.
Because even if technically that's like a higher resource drain or whatever, it can be really, really tedious. And I think that Resident Evil 2 remakes difficulty options, despite the fact they do make some of the enemies quite spongy. They work quite well because they don't just modify that, they also modify the the frequency of headshots being insta-gives, basically. No, they decrease it, sorry. They changed the frequency. So basically, if you're playing on lower difficulties, it's more common that you'll essentially get a crit, which increases the value of your ammunition. Whereas in the high difficulty modes, it's less consistent, which means that both it's more impactful in terms of being like a boon to you when it happens, but also it's less reliable, which means you can't bank on it happening. So it has that kind of tension element to it, which obviously fits very well with the survival horror thing.
Yeah. I really like the way like Halo tends to, or at least more specifically Common Evolved. I haven't tried any of the others on Legendary, but where the enemies don't actually get like stronger in terms of like their health, so it's not bullet spongy.
Yeah.
There will be like certain enemies that like rank up, like there are different colors.
I was about to say, did they increase the frequency of the higher colored monsters in,
Yes.
I guess, enemies? Yeah.
Um,
But doesn't the AI and stuff change a little bit between those as well? It's not just health
yeah,
values?
and also projectile speed and such.
Yeah.
And certain enemy layouts are a little different. So it's like, I like the way that's handled, but Republic Commando is just very basic and uninteresting.
Yeah. There are definitely certain games that I regret playing on the difficulties I played them on. And there are certain games that I do actually really like on high difficulties, despite the fact that they're kind of cheap. So, for example, Uncharted 2 I played on Crushing, and I really loved that. But I tried Uncharted 3 and 4 on hard, and I really just hated them, so I cranked them way down to the easy mode and had way more fun with them. I don't know why. Uncharted 3's combat just feels, like, slightly off to me. Like, it doesn't feel bad, it just feels slightly off. I have no idea why.
It's been a long time since I played any of those, so I couldn't tell you.
Uncharted 4, though, the reason I cranked the difficulty way down is because you can do, like, dumb bullshit Indiana Jones stuff with the grapple hook. And if you switch up the difficulty higher, it's really hard to just kind of, like, run around in the open like a jackass.
Also, final level.
Oh my god, how many levels are there?
4.
Damn. Is the music good?
Yeah. I am streaming on Discord if you want to listen to it.
I am watching on Discord, but I have it muted because I'm cool like that.
Yeah. Game's kind of ace, but the music slaps.
Rare Game Boy Music W.
This game really makes me question what the fuck happened to Harmony of Dissonance's soundtrack.
Is Harmony's soundtrack ass?
Kinda. I mean, I think people exaggerate how bad it is, but it's probably the weakest Castlevania soundtrack.
Damn.
It's like, it kind of goes with like sort of a, 8-bit style or whatever, but it doesn't do it that well. And it's like, well, this game's music's good, so that game doesn't really have an excuse.
Well, I kept trying to tell Red, because obviously the Game Boy is more powerful than the Advance.
It's literally using the same like sound hardware or whatever as the Game Boy.
I guess the ultimate question is, do any of the songs in this game fuck as hard as Bloodlines from Rondo?
Probably not.
Valid. I would argue that none of the other games have a song that fucks that hard, because it's my favorite, but...
Well, in terms of like the level 1 themes, beginning is from 3 is, well, specifically the Japanese version of 3 is my favorite.
Fair enough.
And I also really like the Haunted Castle first level theme.
Yes.
Oh no, this game is the thing where if you go off screen, the enemies respawn.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. I'm okay if you like exit the area and re-enter, they respawn, but I absolutely despise it when if they just go off screen, they respawn. Like, that is one of my least favorite elements of this kind of... I don't know if this kind, I guess, this general period of platformers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's safe to say this is the worst classic Vania. I mean, I guess there still is the question of this or Simon's Quest, but I don't know.
What about Haunted Castle?
Haven't played it, not gonna play it.
But what if you did?
No.
But like, what if?
How about you play it?
I don't want to play it. The game fucking sucks.
Yeah. I don't want to play it. It fucking sucks. That's my point.
Oh yeah, but you're a YouTuber, so.
This means I have
It's
to
your
fucking
job.
cover every single game in existence.
What do you mean? The only reason you have a job is because the Angry Video Game Nerd exists, and his whole thing was playing shitty games that suck ass.
But that's not my thing.
It should be your thing.
Like, the vast majority of the games I'm planning on covering are not ones that suck ass. Like, I mostly want to cover good games.
That's weird.
I mean, there are still some bad ones I want to cover, but like...
When will you cover Yonoid 2?
I'll decide if that were to happen whenever I play it.
It's a very good game.
I mean, he's already
Actually-
played.
You know,
He's
I probably am gonna like make a review of the Big Catch, so I can probably bring it up when I do that game.
Yeah. What did I rate Yonoid 2? I gave it a 7 out of 10, which
Nice.
means I said it was better than. What's a game that would be funny for me to rate it against? I rated Yonoid 2 better than Samus Returns.
Damn.
Okay, to be fair, Samus Returns just got really boring by the end because the way the game was set up. At least to me. It was slightly too long. They probably could have cut out like 1 or 2 zones and it would have been better. I don't know, I think I've already told them. I don't like Metroid games that much. My favorite Metroid game is Fusion for a reason.
Don't like Metroid games that much, except for this one, which I love more than a lot of other things.
Oh, I adore Fusion. As I said, I think it's probably the best game I've played this year.
Oh, fuck.
Mind you, I have been told that Dread might still be more enjoyable for me than Fusion, despite my general mid-perspective on a lot of other Metroid stuff. Just because apparently Dread is like that fucking good.
It's my favorite, and I'm also sorta mid on Metroid, although probably not quite as much as you.
Yeah. My job is to dislike things that everyone else enjoys, and then have them get mad at me for disliking it.
So similar to me.
No. You're just
Damn.
fucking insane.
Kamen Rider
Star Wars or
S.
Star Trek? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've only watched Star Wars, I haven't watched really any Star Trek, so, I guess that answers that.
I've only watched the Abrams films in regards to Star Trek, and I don't think I've watched a Star Wars movie since The Last Jedi came out? Or was... Did Rogue One or Last Jedi come out first?
Last Jedi came out before. I mean, after.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Last Jedi was the last Star Wars film I watched, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people hate that film. I just found it to be, like, kind of okay and a little boring with some cool moments.
Well, then we have to watch Rise of Skywalker.
I don't want to watch Rise of Skywalker. I saw...
Hey, that movie is bad, but it's fascinatingly bad.
Yeah, honestly, the reason I don't want to watch Rise of Skywalker is just because I don't care.
I mean, it's fair, but it could be good for a laugh.
Maybe, but do I really want to spend that much time doing that when I already have so much shit on the list of things that Ben and I have to watch together? Actually, speaking of which, one thing is no longer on that list.
Yeah, no, Red, he actually made sense of it.
It was really funny. Do you know what my reaction to the ending of Big O was?
Oh, you actually finished that.
Oh my god, it makes so much fucking sense now!
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I would say probably Star Wars because I really like science fantasy kind of adventure stories, and Star Wars is like Star Wars is like the definition of taking a bunch of kind of, you know, tropes and other general structural things from other things, and then just kind of running with them in a fun little reworked setting. It's also basically like an influence for all of my other favorite media. One of my favorite games and one of my favorite narratives in all fiction, Xenoblade Chronicles, and that game wouldn't exist without Star Wars, like at all. So, yeah. IKG dropping the take of the century in chat.
What do you say?
He said he liked The Last Jedi for the most part.
Hey, IKG.
Honestly, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if the pacing was a little bit better. It was a little lopsided, and things like the Casino Planet just kind of felt like really, really played out diversions that probably didn't need to be there, or if they did need to be there, they needed a little bit of retooling. The film just feels a bit long, even though I don't actually think it's too long in terms of just sheer runtime. I don't think it's terrible. I think a lot of people overhate it, but I also don't think it's like amazing. I just think it's kind of okay.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I kind of hated it when it first came out, but I haven't watched it since then.
I'm surprised people have such strong opinions about it. Let's put it that way.
Honestly, it kind of made me a bit more apathetic towards Star Wars in general, at least Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
I would agree there.
I have heard, you know, some interesting arguments for it. Like, the most... Like, I think I can agree with, like, some of the others where I respect it more than the two surrounding it. Because it actually tried to do, like, new stuff instead of, you know, Force Awakens just copying A New Hope and Last Jedi, or, Rise of Skywalker just being a trash fire.
I will say it did feel a lot more... It did feel a lot more like there was a creative vision behind it in a way that the other ones felt just a little bit shallow, would be maybe the word? Not hollow, but a little shallow.
Maybe that's because J.J. Abrams wasn't directing.
I haven't seen a lot of Abrams stuff. I've seen his Star Trek,
I'd
ones.
recommend, like I enjoyed Super 8.
I've heard very good things about Super 8. I also want to watch Chronicle, which is kind of an adjacent-ish film. Man, that one ball is really fucking you.
Just kill me.
It's a radioactive waffle.
The controls combined with the hitbox, like, oh, this game sucks. But anyways, like, I think I'm a little more receptive to the idea of giving Last Jedi another chance, of, like, maybe coming to the conclusion that it could be better than the other two. But main issue, I think, is one, I just don't really like how Luke was quite handled. Not necessarily that the idea was bad, but the way they did it.
What do you think about the milk?
It's kind of funny. I don't know, that face he makes when he drinks it, and then they're like...
It did feel like he was giving like a, yeah, I know this looks fucking gross. Fuck you, what of it? You did eat my ass, bitch.
But, my main issue with Luke is not necessarily that he became what he became, it's just that he didn't try to do anything. Like, he immediately, like, puts himself into exile after what happened.
And immediately tries to kill.
Well, him igniting the lightsaber at a moment of weakness, I think, is fine. Could be fine. The problem is after that he doesn't do anything to help. That's my issue with Luke. Like, I think you can make an interesting story of Luke becoming like that and whatever, but the execution of it, I don't think was it. But the greater issue with me really caring too much about giving that movie another shot or whatever is because of the surrounding movies. It's the middle of a trilogy. So it's like it doesn't matter because what came before it wasn't good and what came after it was trash, so it doesn't really
It's
matter.
the middle part of a story that it wasn't meant to be a part of in the first place, and the rest of it also isn't very good.
Yeah. So at this point, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, like, I'm kind of done with Star Wars. Like, maybe there could be some individual, like, stuff that could come out later, but...
Well, it's like we're watching, me and Red are watching The Bad Bunch. That's...
Like, The Bad Batch. Like, I enjoyed that show. You know, like, that is an individual Star Wars thing that I'm interested in. In terms of movies, well, any mainline sequels, like with the sequel trilogy, is gonna have a hard time winning me over. If they do a single story like Rogue One or whatever, might be like, yeah, I might check that out. But
honestly, at this point, the only Star Wars thing I'm interested in is in the KOTOR games, and that's not a new thing. That's an old ass thing.
oh yeah, I mean, like, I'm never gonna stop like loving the old movies and the old games that I already loved.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm interested in going back through Star Wars, because I think the thing about Star Wars that interests me most isn't the contemporary period, it's the period of time where all the current Legends content was placed into, where the IP was kind of just handed out to, like, whoever
Yeah.
wanted it, and they could do whatever the hell they wanted, and they could intersect it with as much of the other stuff that already exists as they wanted, and so it becomes this, like... Star Wars had this really weird thing where it almost was like, I'm trying to think of a way of putting this. It was kind of like the way comic books are in the way that you have so many different takes on all these different characters, but instead of it being like one big canon, it was a bunch of officially licensed but not necessarily canonical works that could or could not respect the other ones as much as they wanted to or didn't want to. And that's just fun. Like,
Something
it's
that
genuinely
Disney's-
just a fun thing to do. Like, the whole Kyle Katarn thing, like, that's just cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the fact he has this whole storyline and arc with the Jedi Knight games, and then certain other things decided to reference him in, like, the books and stuff, like, that's cool.
Yeah. Have you played any of the Jedi Knight or Dark Forces games?
I've played through most of Dark Forces 2, and I tried playing Jedi Knight 2, but I'm gonna be honest, Jedi Knight 2 isn't great.
Oh, I really like it.
Its level design is really, really unintuitive, and the first few levels are quite long, and the shooting combat is quite mid.
Yeah, the shooting isn't great. I mean,
And so the fact you have to spend, like, a few hours on your first run dealing with kind of subpar shooting and really, really mid or poor, like, 90s shooter design, it's not very fun. At least the opening bit of the game.
Yeah. Have you gotten a lightsaber?
On a previous save years ago when I played it, yes, but every time I've tried to go back to it, it's just been annoying to get through those first, 2 or 3 levels.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I suppose I can get that.
lightsaber stuff is cool as hell. I love the little bit that I played with the lightsaber years ago
Like,
when I got to that point, but
it's the best lightsaber combat in any game. Like, just
yeah,
like no competition.
yeah.
Like, the game gets really good when you get... Well, okay. it's a little limited when you first get your lightsaber because you barely have a force. Your force is really weak and such. But once you start getting upgrades to that, like, the game is just really fun.
Yeah,
Well,
I will say I
especially
did
if
actually
you-
quite like Dark Forces too.
I need to
if
get
you
around
use-
to doing that because I have all of the games. I just only sampled Dark Forces 2. I need to get back to it, and I also need to beat Dark Forces 1.
Well, and it's especially also great, the sabers, if you use the console commands.
Oh yeah, you can use console commands to give yourself a lightsaber at the very beginning.
Well, and dismemberment.
Oh, even that.
Oh yeah.
It does annoy me that it's not just the default thing, or at least just in the normal settings, you have to do console commands to activate it.
Yeah. I
Like
want to maybe try and play the Force Unleashed games at some point as well, because they seem like there's a very, very particular kind of game. That's not a kind of genre, but it's like a design ethos that existed. And it's the... What is it? Is it with Xbox 360 7th gen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 7th gen middle market licensed games. There's a certain feel to a 7th gen middle market licensed game. And something about those games allowed for people making those games to simultaneously make extremely derivative games that very much were just based off of kind of copying stuff that was popular at the time, but also making it interesting and fun in ways that felt unique. There are a lot of mechanics in those games that basically only exist in those games because it doesn't really make sense to try it out in a different context, but it works. The biggest example I can think of in the back of my mind is Web of Shadows, and the way that they basically tried to make a spectacle fighter Spider-Man game and then applied a lot of that ethos to the web swinging. And then the other game that I always hear about that I still need to play is the Cybertron games, the Transformers ones.
I've heard actually really good things about those.
The Ghostbusters game as well kind of has that.
Oh.
It's a very interesting third-person shooter that does a lot of kind of quirky stuff that you don't really find in other games, and it really takes that whole kind of Dead Space, HUD in real space idea to like the absolute extreme.
Yeah, I really like that Ghostbusters game.
But that's what I mean. There's so many like weird little things that you just wouldn't get in contemporary games that for some reason existed in fairly large budget games for the period of time. Like they weren't AAA, but they were closer than a lot of indie stuff is now. It was interesting. I think that period of games has some of. I think the 7th generation was like the point in time where the 6 out of 10 became something like. I'm trying to think of a way of explaining it. Like a 6 out of 10 game from the 7th generation feels a certain way. And I'm very, maybe nostalgic because I grew up a lot on the 7th gen, but I'm very attached to that feeling. It's very appealing to me. And I know a lot of that stuff does actually have its roots in 6th gen action adventure titles, but the 7th gen kind of combined a lot of that stuff with other random experiments, like how a lot of games from that period used Unreal Engine, which meant they all have like that weird washed out bloom look to them. Like there's a certain feel to that period where they were trying to push a lot of boundaries, and because of that they kind of all sucked, but it was in an interesting way. A lot of those games aren't very good. Like they aren't great games, but also at the same time they're very charming, I think is the way of putting it. There's something very charming about it all.
Yeah, I mean, you might like Force Unleashed because of that, but I personally don't. I don't know. Like, Force Unleashed I don't think is a bad game, but there's a lot about it I don't really like, and it became really apparent when I played it on the hardest difficulty. That game fucking sucks on the hardest difficulty.
Oh, a lot of those games you don't want to play on hard difficulties because they have like really bad spongy enemies and a bunch of other stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do think the 7th gen very much typifies a lot of the issues with the concept of difficulty options.
Yeah.
It definitely existed before, but with shooter games and stuff becoming more common, it definitely kind of accentuated that. Because you didn't really have that issue with classic shooter games, because a lot of them did in some ways either change enemy behavior or projectiles or other things like that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you ended up in the period where basically everything was just hit scanners, then you couldn't really do things with projectile speeds. So, well, what is the other thing to do? Well, you have regenerating health because it's hit scanners, which means you can't really have health bars with pickups. So what do? Well, you just make the margin smaller. And oh, well, you have so much ammo because the enemy's always constantly dropping it. Well, what do you do then? I guess you make them take 1 billion bullets to die. Okay, so then you just make the slowest stop and pop gameplay. Oh, okay, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooter games before then and since then haven't really had the same issues. Even games that try and follow in the same kind of design path. But yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh, I hate
The
those.
7th generation is a generation of uniquely bad shooter games.
Yeah.
It's got some of my guilty pleasures.
And I think that's one of the great things about it, is it does have a lot of games that, as I said, they have that one thing going for them that makes them very charming, but they also kind of suck.
Yeah. I don't know if, like, the ways in which 7th gen shooters suck, if their charm would be enough for me, though.
Oh no, certainly. I'm not trying to say that these are like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's like
there's something about them, you know?
it's like Rogue Warrior. I love to death.
Okay, that has a different charm to it.
Yeah, that is a very different charm to it.
Shell Shock 2, although most people seem to hate that game.
A game you like, people hate? What?
Ben enjoying something that generally is disliked? This is weird.
Shocking.
Shell shocking.
See what you did there?
Huh.
Did you?
No, because I got glasses.
I still have never seen you with glasses.
How the fuck have you not seen me with glasses? I always wear them.
Maybe my brain's just phasing them out. Maybe I need glasses to help me see glasses.
This level also sucks ass.
No you? Got him.
I should...
Oh fuck, I forgot about Enslaved Odyssey to the West. That was a weird-ass game.
Colin played that game.
That doesn't entirely surprise me. Yeah, fuck, I forgot it was made by Ninja Theory, too. What a fucking weird game. I forgot I had Rage on my Steam wishlist for some reason. I even want to play that game. It looks fucking terrible.
What's it's funny that you mentioned that because me and Red we've been going through whatchamacallit,
You can do it, I believe in you.
Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, Jesse with the light gun playing Rage.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was so confusing.
Yes, I think they did. They actually make that light gun Rage Breaking Bad.
Yeah, these might just be the worst enemies in Castlevania.
Sounds to me like a case of get good.
This game needs to get good.
Yeah, no, so what happened was id basically got rung up by the show, and they were like, okay, we want some footage for like a shooter game thing. And they're like, okay, so they just captured like an absolute shitload of rage footage and then sent it to them. And they went, yeah, okay, that's what we want.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that was like, they just actually just got id to fucking send them a bunch of footage of rage. You heard it here first, folks. If you want to put your shooter game in a TV show, just call up id and they'll make a bunch of footage for you. It kind of reminds me how there was a Spanish or something show that had footage of phantom dust in the background of it in one episode. Which was like a 3D action brawler beat 'em up card battler for the Xbox. I don't know, it seems like the kind of game Ben would enjoy. Because it sold like 2,000 copies, and it's weird.
Maybe I'll give it a shot then. So how are you enjoying the level, Red?
I'm not.
I was about to say, is he?
You know, sometimes inputs just don't register. Also, this first bit, you have to make sure not to get hit, because you really need this upgraded whip for the big enemy coming up.
Yeah.
Because, like, without it, he takes too many hits where he kind of makes you back up to the point where if you do, when you kill him, you're far enough away from him to respawn.
Nice.
It's like, you either get this whip or you take the damage and just walk through him.
Yeah. Also, just sorry, one thing in relation to Big O that I realized. I'm not sure, because I haven't read any of him, but I'm guessing, based on some of the subject matter, that Big O probably references Nietzsche at some point. Because a lot of anime does for some fucking reason. And I imagine if you read some of his work, it might make more sense. Because I think he's one of the people that is generally accepted as being, like, influential or important to kind of, like, the post-truth kind of concept, which Big O seems like it's kind of adjacent to.
Well, have you watched any of the videos from that YouTube channel you suggested?
I did. I think I watched the overview one and I watched the Schwarzwald one, which the Schwarzwald one went over a lot of the things I mentioned in the Hobbes thing, right?
Yeah.
It's also interesting because if you look into Hobbes' conception of, like, the human and natural law, it kind of mirrors a lot of the things that Schwarzwald is, like, representing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I only watched, like, 1 or 2 videos because it was really late, and also I kind of realized that I knew all of that stuff already.
Oh.
Well, because, like, I noticed it while I was watching. There was some stuff I didn't notice. I do think one really good point that they made was that, the show is very much character-driven, and so the plot is kind of secondary. And so even though like thinking about the plot is relevant, it's not something which should be super fixated on, because the plot is more like to service the characters and their stories than it is to be its own kind of big thing. If that makes sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense, and they are the best part. They are definitely better than the plot itself.
I mean, a lot of the show is fairly episodic anyway.
The funny thing is, though, is that even those episodic episodes tend to reference or build upon the ideas of the show quite strongly and directly. Especially the ones with reoccurring characters like Schwarzwald. But yeah. To anyone watching, Big O, or The Big O, it's a good anime. It gets my seal of approval.
Really, the one thing that sucks and will always suck is Dan Doston's redesign.
Face? Yeah, his face just looked so screwed in the second half. I have no idea what was wrong with it, but it just looked so wrong.
This is how faces look, right?
But it changed from like every shot to every other shot. It just looked so bad. And he was the only character too. Like all the other characters looked fine. Just for some reason Doston looked terrible.
What are you, racist?
Yes, against bad-looking anime characters.
Well, damn. Although I do stand by, it has my favorite. That is my favorite anime soundtrack ever.
Oh, wait, there was a great quote from Beck in the last episode. And that was, I hate them, both of them, the black guy and the white guy. But... And then it cuts.
What?
It was so perfect. I have no idea if that was intentional, but it's literally just the goddamn meme of like, you know, I'm not racist, but, you know, it's like that's what it feels like. It's the same vibes. It was really funny. Literally, as soon as I heard it, I paused the show, skipped back, and then wrote it down. Also, I think I might have mentioned this, but there was a really cool detail I noticed, like halfway into the show, and there's all of the robots, their names as R something. Like R. Dorothy Wainwright. I don't know if that means anything, it's just a cool detail.
You know, one thing that I found weird is, you know, the main giant robots are called Megadeuces. Which, you know, that name was always weird, but it's spelt Deus instead of Deus.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Yes. That was very funny to me for about the first 10 episodes, and then eventually I just kind of, like, stopped finding it funny because I just learned what the word meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the way that they say Dominus is very, very odd. Because they pronounce it Dominus.
Yeah.
Which is just, like, not how you say that.
Dominus of Megadeus.
Yes, the Dominus of Megadeus. Also, they seem to reference all of the Megadeuses as the Megadeus. Like, as if there's only one of them. But there are multiple of them?
Maybe there's like only one left.
Well, no, there isn't only one left because they're still calling Big O the Mega Deuce after you've seen Big Duo.
It's fucking chop.
Because like even Rosewater near the end of the show says to Robert, or is it Roger? It's Roger. That's it. Sorry. Says to Roger, "You're the Dominus of the Mega Deuce." And Roger knows, not Roger, Rosewater knows there's more of them. He's literally building one. Like, that's what I mean. It makes no sense. I think the localization definitely screwed with the show a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I still like the dub quite a lot. I really like Dorothy.
Yes, you're a louse, Roger.
Yes. She just straight up calls the main character a louse repeatedly.
I don't know why I can't make
I
this
think
jump
my-
anymore.
I think my favorite character is still Norman.
Norman is amazing. I do wish there was more Norman in the show. We've been over this, but man, Norman
What'd
was
you
so
think of
great.
that one episode when those robots were attacking the place and Norman just fucking destroys them?
Yeah, no, Norman went like full badass mode on them. It was amazing. Oh god, who's he remembering of? Who is he reminding me of? Oh, there was some character like him.
Well, I mean, he has a lot of similarities to Alfred from Batman.
Yeah, but Alfred was never like a giga ultra badass. He was like competent, but like
Yeah, certainly
Not
not
like
to that
that.
degree. Well, there's so
Yeah.
many incarnations that maybe one out there.
I still think my favorite part with Norman is in the Demon Seed. You know, where Roger wants him to go get the clothes in the building that's getting attacked by the plant, and he just drives a motorcycle through it.
oh yeah. Oh, the episode where they were fighting the giant robot that was chasing after Dorothy and she was in the sidecar, and he just
Yes.
like casually pulls up a fucking missile launcher from underneath her and she just like puts her legs apart to let the missiles shoot out. That was hilarious.
Yes.
Norman's great. I do think Dawston's genuinely the most boring character in the show, though.
Well, I liked him, and I really liked the actor.
I think, especially in the second half, he kind of just... Let's put it this way, I understand why his immediate reaction in the second half to anything ever happening was like, dude, let me do my fucking job. Like, seriously. You keep taking all my gigs from me.
Yeah.
Like, I related to that. I felt that. Dustin deserves better. I will say one thing though, and that is, after watching Big O, I'm immensely surprised you didn't enjoy Evangelion.
It might have had to do with the dub.
Because to me, Evangelion's just like, you can see its fingerprints all over Big O. Like, all over it. Like, do you remember what the Avas are meant to represent, right?
No.
Oh, it was in the movie, they have a line about how, like, if humans were created within the image of God by God, then the Avas were created in the image of man by man. Ava are to man what humans are to God. Is what, like, the idea behind it was, right?
Okay.
And that's, like, really similar to the idea behind the Megadeus, right? Like, the Megadeus is meant to be, like, the representation of divine power as wielded by humans, which the Evangelions are also the representation of divine power wielded by humans, because they are the creation of man in the same way that humans are the creation of God. So, like, it's the same thing. Their entire idea is the exact same thing. And I think that might be a fairly common trope among mecha, but, like, even still, the particular language of it was very reminiscent. And a lot of people that worked on Evangelion were also very influential in like crafting the mecha genre, even previous to Evangelion. So, yeah.
Pretty good.
Evangelion is just really good. I really love Evangelion.
I don't, but I respect your opinion.
Yeah, and I don't respect yours. It's bad.
Damn.
I do like my Twitter bio. It's just Evangelion is my spirit animal. You should good show. You should watch it again, but you should watch it in Japanese this time.
I'll tell you what. I'll do that if you watch G Gundam with me.
See, the thing is that I don't want you to just watch it, like, out of a compulsion. Like, I want you to be interested in watching it. Like, I don't just want it to be assigned homework. I want you to enjoy it, right? Like, it's fine if, like, you know, you would actually, like, try and give it a fair shot, or whatever. Like, I'd be willing to give you Gundam a fair shot at some point as well, but, like, I don't want it to just be, like, a contractual deal is the only reason you're even doing it, and it's just, like, an obligatory thing you're doing, you know? Because there's no way you're going to enjoy it under those conditions. It's the reason why I generally don't do, like, the game trade things that I know you and Harain have done before, Red. It's because that's, like, a really, really great way to not enjoy doing something.
I love when I'm presented an obstacle that I literally can't avoid.
Skill issue?
And then after that, I'll eventually have to work on getting you to watch Mega Piranha. It'll happen someday.
I don't think it will. I just don't think it will. Something tells me.
I have ways.
Yeah, see, Red, the problem is that you jump. If you didn't jump, you would have won.
Eh.
Is the game experiencing slowdown when multiple sprites, like, start
Yes.
popping up with the projectiles and stuff?
Yes.
Fun.
This game is really slow, and it has slowdown.
Amazing.
It's just too powerful for the Game Boy.
Hey, Red, would you ever consider streaming Cruelty Squad?
I don't even know what that is.
Have you played Cruelty Squad, Ben?
I think I might have heard of it.
Okay, let me just show you what it looks like real quick. This is the actual HUD of the game. I put it in the gaming channel.
Oh wait, I'm not even looking at the game channel. I'm an idiot. What the fuck am I looking at?
That's Cruelty Squad.
What the fuck am I looking at?
That's Cruelty Squad.
Red, my brain hurts.
That's just the HUD. The big blob in the left corner, that's your HP.
Oh.
There's no way to get rid of it. By the way, the border on the screen actually has a gameplay purpose.
Alright, I gotta see this.
And it permanently says Cruelty Squad at the top of the screen.
What the fuck?
That's Cruelty Squad.
Why are there just number 2s on the wall?
It's just the wall texture.
Alright.
One of the people you have to kill in the game has an entire room where the walls are lined with Funko Pops.
Right then.
It's an immersive sim where you play as a contract killer working for the Cruelty Squad, which is like a hitman service thing. So the objective of every level is to show up and kill your targets. And it looks like that. For everyone at home, go to Google and look up Cruelty Squad. It will be very easy to find what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's on the streaming docket now, right?
Well... no.
It's not at all, like, eye-bleachingly insufferable to look at.
Thanks, game.
Thank you, Dark Souls. Are those weird hook guys the equivalent of axe armors to this game?
I guess.
They're KKK members.
Shouldn't have jumped. Should have jumped. That looks like a really fun room.
I am this close to just save stating my way through this level.
Yeah. I actually did save state one level in Rondo, and it was the other clock tower level, just because that bridge section in the beginning was actually so hard to get through. I didn't even save state until the very end, but I got to the boss, and I was like, okay, I've got one restart left. Do I really want to retry this entire level from the bridge? And I just thought, no, I don't. That was the only time I ever used save states in the entire game. Is that one bridge section. Just sucks ass.
Boy. Was there something up here? No.
If you're watching the stream later as a video, please put in the
Yeah.
comments what your least favorite section of the Castlevania game is. Or don't. That's also an option.
The anime. That was my least favorite.
You didn't like the anime?
I did.
Wait, so why is it your least favorite?
Because I needed something to use.
Have you never played any of the games?
That
Wait,
is
didn't
correct.
you say you hadn't earlier?
Yes.
Oh, so the anime is the only thing Castlevania you've seen or done?
Well, I mean, I've watched playthroughs of them.
Well, yeah. Doesn't count. It's cheating. I need to finish the anime at some point. It's very good.
Yes, it is.
It's better than most of the games. For example, this one. Honestly, even with Rondo being the best of the games, I do think that the anime is probably better. I say that with a heavy heart.
Yeah, this room.
Oh my god, you've actually done the gamer knockback strats.
Yeah,
Damage boosting like an absolute pro.
like you can't really deal with them without an upgraded whip because they take too many hits where you will have to keep walking backwards, and when you kill them, you're far enough away where they respawn. So
Amazing. So there's 3 levels of whip upgrade in this game, which is like the basic leather whip, the bigger flail, and then the fireball.
yep.
Is this the only game where you get a projectile at top tier whip?
Well, this also happens in this game's sequel and the remake of this game. I don't know.
What was the
about
remake?
the Adventure Rebirth. It was a WiiWare game.
Oh, we were. So this is the Dracula fight.
Yeah, and from what it already sucks.
I was about to say. I
You gonna save
keeping on the
state?
Castlevania tradition of not being very good.
So, Reg, you gonna save state?
Probably yeah. 'Cause, fuck that.
I mean, this is your last life.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that first. I don't care. I don't want to do the whole fucking level again.
Wait, are there sub-weapons in Rebirth?
Yes.
I'm
Rebirth
guessing it's probably
is-
easier.
Well, Rebirth is basically the like Super Castlevania 4 to this game. It's not really the same game at all.
To what extent is it the same game then?
Its name,
So it's an in-name only?
basically.
I guess it is kind of a remake in that sense.
Yeah, let me
Man, it actually looks really pretty.
see if I continue. Yeah, it does take me back to the beginning. Fuck that.
Wait, so would Adventure Rebirth be the most recent Castlevania game?
Yes.
Like Classicvania?
Yep.
Damn. Is it any good?
I hear good things about it, but it's one of the games I know the least about, so.
Huh, I might actually play it at some point then. Because I really, really do enjoy Classicvania.
Wow, this kind of sucks.
Do you play Simon in it?
No, Christopher, which is the same as this game.
Christopher. Who's Christopher? What's his deal?
He's in between Trevor and Simon.
Trevor and Simon. Got it.
Can't even like go down there and jump. What the fuck?
I do genuinely wish we got more Classicvania games in the style of Rondo.
Yeah. I think Adventure Rebirth is more like the previous ones, where it doesn't have the multiple paths, but I don't know for sure.
It's not even just that, it's just looking at Adventure Rebirth, it has a lot of platforming and stuff that's very much just kind of like loose floating platforms. Whereas Rondo does a really, really, really good job of trying to contextualize its environments as very much places. You know, with stuff like the Ghost Ship level,
Yeah.
where basically everything is kind of in line to an extent with a naturalistic environment. You had that set piece like with the river, right? Which is literally just like a natural environment that you're kind of just engaging with in a very particular way, you know? As I said, it has a very grounded and naturalistic feel to it, despite its obvious kind of gamey and arcadey elements, which I think the previous games do try a little bit at, but they tend to become a little bit artificial feeling, if that makes sense. They don't feel as grounded. If that means anything to you at all. I think Dawn does a really good job of having that same very grounded feeling. I think Symphony to an extent does. Aria definitely does not. Portrait sometimes does. I think like maybe half the levels in Portrait do. Order of Ecclesia I haven't played enough of, but from what I've seen, I think it does. And then Bloodstained did very, very much. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, right?
The Curse of the Moon games are the classic style. Ritual of the Night is the
Yeah.
Mania style.
I just couldn't remember if Curse of the Moon was the name of the Castlevania game.
Well, there's Circle of the Moon. There's Curse of Darkness.
That's why I was doubting myself.
I do not like this Dracula fight.
Have you played 64?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It wasn't amazing or anything, but it was good.
Did you play the other 64 game?
Yeah, I played both of them.
Did you like the first one or the second one more?
Well, the second one all contains basically all the content of the first one, so I mean, yeah, probably is better overall, but they're basically about the same.
Fair enough. I've heard that they're quite interesting games in respects to the period of time that they were produced and a lot of the things that they did.
Yeah.
Apparently also at time of release they reviewed very well. Which is interesting considering the fact that their reputation and years following is less than stellar, to say the least.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for him to... Oh, fuck. Oh.
Are there any other classic Mania games that use the item crash? Or is that just a Rondo thing?
Bloodlines has it, but it's not as strong as the Bloodlines ones. Or the Rondo ones.
Yeah, I should play Bloodlines. I think I'd probably enjoy it.
Got my favorite music of the series.
What do you think of the music, Red?
It's pretty good. Rondo's is better, though.
To be fair, it's kind of hard to top Rondo.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime anyone talks about Rondo, I always feel extremely high and mighty because it's my favorite one. Which doesn't actually make me especially cool or interesting, because basically everyone agrees it's the best classic Vadia game, but I still get to get that little bit of credit because I still prefer it to the Igavanias, which are generally the more popular ones. And as we all know, the only reason to like video games in the first place is to tell other people that you like them and them to go like, wow, what a cool and interesting and unique individual you are. That's the purpose of them, right? So that Dracula fight.
Sucks. Ah.
Is this the worst one in the series so far?
Probably.
How much worse is it than Dracula Act?
That is a question.
Because I think it is probably worse from what I've seen. But the question is how much worse, you know?
Huh. At least there was more of a strategy in that one. Like, I don't know where you're supposed to be standing for this fight. Like in most of these. Like, I got it when he's like over here. You go here and then you jump and attack and it's simple. But I mean, it'd take too long for me to walk over to where he is now.
So do you just wait until you get a good teleport cycle?
Well, he goes in order. Your hitbox is too big for that to work. Ugh.
Oh, that does just seem like suffering. Oh.
You know, I might put this under fucking Simon's Quest.
What's the Simon's Quest one like?
Oh well, I meant game as a whole, but Simon's Quest found most as a joke. It's like piss easy.
Yeah.
Does
Okay,
it
what
even
is, what
atta-
is the issue with Simon's Quest? I know a lot of people dog on it, but I don't think I've ever actually heard anyone explain why they dislike it.
So it goes for like a non-linear style. Some argue it is the progenitor of the Igavania style. Does it really poorly. Like, it controls exactly the same as Castlevania 1, which doesn't really suit the style that well. But oh, you know what? I don't give a shit because I know there's another face. Do not care. Do not care. I want to be done with this. Okay. That's why I did that. Okay, oh my god, man.
He was just swarming with bats.
Oh my god. What is the hitbox?
Wait, what the hell? That didn't even touch you.
The hitboxes are ass in this game. Hey, that was my fault. But fuck.
Oh man.
Fuck it.
I like the fact that you decided very specifically you had to also kill yourself as well as a respawn your save. Wasn't good
Yes.
enough to just quick load, you had to also die.
Yes. I wish I had sub weapons.
Hey, do you know what game doesn't suck like this?
Oh,
Disco Elysium.
well, I hope not.
Very good.
Be concerned if any game sucked as much as this one.
Yeah, but Disco Elysium does like unsucking. It's like the
Unsucking.
opposite of sucking.
Negative sucking.
It's like exhaling. There's another word I could have used that I very intentionally chose not to. Every time you die from the top, the hitbox is just so fucked.
Ow.
Yeah, okay, no. Whatever the vertical hitbox on you and Dracula is here is giga fucked.
Ugh.
Doing very
Okay,
well though.
it's
He's
okay.
almost done.
He died.
Is that it?
Yep. Ugh. Well, that was shit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Even though Rondo's boss fight was simple, at least it wasn't like that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
kind of easy, but it had a good spectacle to it. It was kind of
Yeah.
fun still. Like it was a pattern you could learn.
Yes.
That was just ass.
Yeah, I think that might take the cake, because at least, you know, there is a strategy to Dracula X's. Like, yes, if you mess up, you could just instantly die because of the pits.
But that
like,
also does have instant death spikes. So.
Yeah! So... And they both have the issue of if you game over, you go back to the start of the level instead of the start of the fight, so...
Oh no. And it's not even like a Rondo where the level is the fight. Or I think 4
Yeah.
also has that, right?
I don't think it's the case in 4, but 4 still, you know, checkpoints.
Yeah, it's a checkpoint. It is a checkpoint, yeah. Which even Castlevania 1 did, right?
Yeah, 1 does it, 4 does it, Rondo does it. I think those are the only ones. Because, 3 doesn't for some reason. Bloodlines doesn't have infinite continues, so of course it doesn't. This doesn't. I don't know about the next two Game Boy games, and I also don't know about Adventure Rebirth.
Oh.
But,
Well, actually...
I don't know about...
what game is Adventure 2 and,
Huh?
Is it Castlevania Adventure 2 and some other one, or...?
It's called Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. That's not confusing.
Brilliant.
But, and...
As opposed to Castlevania 2 Simon's...
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just call it Castlevania The Adventure 2.
Oh my god,
they couldn't...
Dracula's still alive, no!
Oh no. Yeah, the next game you're also playing as Christopher. But, yeah. The third Game Boy game is called Castlevania Legends. But, yeah, I think this probably would rank lower than Simon's Quest, because Simon's Quest is dull, but this is just annoying to play because of how slow you are and the lack of sub-weapons. Like, there's at least stuff you can do in Simon's Quest. This just kind of sucked. Like, the act of playing it isn't fun because of the sluggish movement, the short jump, the no sub-weapons, the downgrading whip, like... The
Do the other
hitboxes.
games have a downgrading whip like that?
The next game does, but I think as well, but it handles it differently, where I think only the flame whip downgrades, like you don't go back down to the leather whip.
Ah.
Which is much better. I don't know about Legends. And, the Adventure Rebirth, keeps the Fire Whip thing, but instead of it being an upgrade, it's it's a temporary upgrade. That, like, you get it for a set amount of time. But yeah. So... Bad game. Wait, stage 5? Yeah, it's just starting the game over again. I don't know why it's called 5, if it's just the first level, but...
Well, because it's restarted with your...
games have playthrough 2s?
Well,
Well,
yeah.
because it's keeping your score.
Well, yeah, I know it's, you know, based probably like the hard mode like most games have. But I just find it weird that it calls it level 5.
Well, because it's keeping your score. I think that's part of it.
Well, I mean, I think the same happened with the other games. I mean, when you game over, you're going to lose the score anyway, so... But whatever. That was Castlevania: The Adventure. Kind of sucks, but I hear Belmont's Revenge is actually pretty good, and that's next week. So I guess I'll see for myself then. If anyone happens to be watching this, I don't know. See you later.